Hey everybody out there in internet land, James Jordan, best networker alive, Just Get Money team founder. I am happy and ecstatic right now because I have one of my good friends, one of my team members, one of my leaders, Jay Blake here, and we're just going to be introduced to Jay. As Jay has been calling this over the course of the past couple of days, she's being interviewed tonight, not me. And the reason why we're bringing Jay out tonight is because Jay is a leader. She's a rising star in the making, and I want you to get introduced to her because what I know and understand is this. Uh, when you start to connect with like-minded people, there's an energy, there's a synergy around it, and you want to edify people as much as you possibly can so that they can build themselves up and then go out and do the same thing for other people. The reason why I have so much confidence and ability in myself is because of the fact that I had people that believed in me even when I didn't believe in myself. And when I met Jay in person a couple months back out in Charlotte, it literally blew me away because the perception that I had of her was totally different, right? And there's a power when it comes to connecting with people live, and it really allows you to really learn about them and tap into their energy and see their potential and where they're currently at in their life. And Jay, just want to say I love you and appreciate you, and I'm looking forward to hearing you share your story about where you come from and where you're going with the people that are watching this live or via recording. So, with that being said, Jay, I want to bring you out. How's it going?
Hey, what's going on, James? Thanks for the awesome intro. It's going really well, of course, developing, growing daily, continuing to push myself, and I'm just excited. You're excited about moving forward, improving daily, and just exploding. So it's a really exciting time right now. It's an excellent time.
Awesome, awesome. So, let's talk a little bit about, your background and for the people that are watching this live or via recording, just share with them, more about you, Jay, and, where you come from, how you got started in the industry, what makes you still go in this industry, because as we know, there's a lot of people who get into this industry and, they drop like flies and they make excuses and they just for whatever reason give up on their dreams, but you're not one of those people, right? So what I really want you to do is I want you to just introduce our audience to Jay and just share your story.
All right, no problem. Um, well, first of all, I was born in New York City. I lived there until I was about in like I think fifth grade. I moved to Georgia. And I grew up mostly in Georgia. I went to middle school, high school, an athlete, and it became a major part of my life. Um, Along with the athlete side, I also was kind of like a little nerd, pretty smart, got good grades, all that jazz, school, get a good government job. That's what I was always told. So, that's pretty much what I did or tried to do anyway. So I graduated, I did play basketball in college, I finished school. Um, and I always knew that I wanted more. I always knew I wanted more than what I had, and I really didn't know how I was going to get to the point of having the things I wanted and being able to live the life that I wanted, but I just knew, what I wanted. I wanted to be free. I wanted to be able to travel. I wanted to be able to live life on my own terms. So, growing up, I was always told, like I said, get a good government job, go to school, get good grades, and, your dreams will come true and the American dream will be yours and all that stuff. But of course, once you do go through that process, then you figure out that that's not really the case. So once I did finish school and started working as a teacher, then I kind of was hit with reality. So at that point, I was like, okay, so what do I do now? What am I going to do to move myself towards where I really want to be? Because I knew teaching was not really going to get me to that point of freedom. So honestly, the first time I saw network marketing, period, the very first opportunity I saw, I knew that that was my way. I knew that that was going to get me where I wanted to go. I just knew it innately the first time. So, just like anyone else, I've had, different experiences in the industry, been in a few different companies, and just kind of ran the gamut. But I haven't given up because I still know that, there's no better industry for an individual like me who wants to be able to create, their own business, be able to create freedom, be able to live their life on their own terms, be able to create your own schedule, not have to answer to some boss all the time, somebody breathing down your neck about this and that, being late, and why didn't you do this? And, this is the only industry almost where someone like me who doesn't come from a business background can actually still have the opportunity to be successful and to build that kind of lifestyle, the kind of lifestyle I want. So, really, it was kind of a no-brainer. It's always a no-brainer for me, as far as this industry goes. And, of course, what I'm currently involved with, which we'll talk about later, was, the end-all, be-all for me, because it was exactly what I was looking for, So it was kind of, like I said, another no-brainer to get involved.
Yeah, I hear you. And you said how you had started getting into the industry. So, what problems did basically what problems started to occur with you, when you first got into the industry? Like, what were you doing to go out and build your business? How is it going for you? That led you up to this point now where you're currently at today.
Well, it was just, it was a pretty much a traditional MLM. So, they're like, make this list of 100 people and call all your friends and call everybody and, come to these meetings. And I mean, I did gain some momentum. I got a couple signups. I had a team, so but it was still frustrating because, I know now, of course, that I was talking to people who were not really in my niche. These were not people that were looking for what I had to offer, really. So it was kind of like you're talking to deaf ears because, if somebody's not open to something, if they're not in the right place where they're looking for what you're offering, then it doesn't matter what you have, they're not going to want it. So, that's frustrating, especially for someone that's new to the industry. When you have some momentum, but it's still, you're still having difficulty getting the right person in front of what you have to offer. And that's just, it can be difficult to deal with. And it can be frustrating. So that was one of my issues.
Okay, so when you first got in the industry, you were doing what you were told to do, just like every one of us. I remember when I first got started in network marketing, my upline had told me to talk to my friends and family. That didn't work. Then, I was crazy enough to talk to my coworkers, talk to my manager. Like, I would walk around the office talking about what I was doing and, where I was going. And, people knew I had some sort of drive, like some crazy drive, because I was bold enough to talk about this. I didn't care if there was a VP standing right next to me. Like, I would just sit there and talk about what I was doing and where I was going. And that's the bug that we all get. That's why we stay in the game. And the real key is just staying in the game long enough to go out and get the results that you really see. And so when you first got started in the industry, you brought some people into your team and things of this nature. But what you realized is that you weren't really attracting the right kind of people, and you weren't getting enough people in front of your business. Is that pretty much what was going on with you?
Exactly.
And how did that make you feel? Like, how did that make you feel on the inside? How did it make you feel? Like, how did you go about your business? Like, what was going on with you at that time as you were going through that process?
A few things, which this about me, that the first company I ever joined, they were against the internet, right? They were against, they were like, oh, you can't build on the internet. And I'm like, what? That doesn't even make sense. So I'm kind of was like, I'm a rebel a little bit. So, I'm like, man, whatever. I'm going to go out there and find it myself. So I'm like on the internet, like, I'm like getting on. I found like Toby and Layla's blog. This was a few years ago. And I was like on their blog. And I found like Ray Higdon's blog. And I saw David Wood's blog. And I was like, oh my God, this guy was like homeless. And he like built this business from his laptop. So it was like, I was looking, for a solution, but I didn't know where to find it, because it was just disheartening a little bit and discouraging, but at the same time, I'm not a quitter. So I knew I wasn't going to quit. So instead, I'm like, okay, I have to find some type of solution, so that's pretty much what I was doing. I was looking for an answer, which I know a lot of people right now They don't want to quit. They're looking for an answer. So, I knew there had to be another way to do this business besides, the way that most people are taught to do it.
Isn't that interesting? Because, you know, everyone who starts to discover internet marketing, right? We all come from a background 9 times out of 10 where the company doesn't really actively promote internet marketing. They kind of shy us away from it. I
Right.
remember when I started to learn internet marketing. This is one of the most funny, ironic stories ever. My upline, who to this day I still keep in contact with, and I reach out to them every now and then, every couple months or so, because I'm just so thankful that I met really great people when I first got started in this industry, because I would have never stayed in had I not connected with some really great, wonderful human beings by the name of Mike and Michelle. And I remember I was like their young prodigy. I was 19 years old when I first got into the game, and I was doing what they told me to do. And I was up at night studying and reading, and they would send me tapes. I would listen to them. I got out to the first event I possibly could, which was like literally I got started in that business in December of 2006. And I think I got out to a live event in Chicago in January. So in less than a month, right, I was getting out to my first live event, and I was just doing what they told me to do, right? Because I was so focused on my vision, I was so focused on going out and getting the result that I wanted for myself, that I was willing to listen to the people who were in the position that I wanted to be in. So eventually I got to a point where I was being frustrated because I was talking to friends and family. I was buying leads, and I was just like, just destroying my credit at the time as a 19-year-old kid. And it was driving me nuts, right? And and I got to a point where I was like, I need a solution to my problem, right? Which is where you may be at. You may be looking for additional income, however you got in front of this video, or you may be already in network marketing, internet marketing, and you're at a place in your life, you're at a place in your business where you want help, you're seeking a solution, and you're looking to solve a problem, right? And when you understand that the solution is out there, there's a drive within you that keeps you going and going and going and going and going until you find that solution. And then once you find that solution, it's all about activating that solution in your life and in your business, and you go out and get results. And when I first discovered internet marketing, and I discovered that I didn't have to buy leads, that I didn't have to talk to my friends and family or my coworkers, or walk up to an individual and say, hey, you look pretty sharp there. Do you keep your options open? And all other garbage, right? I didn't have to do that anymore. My upline got pissed at me, right? And I had a conversation with one of them, and they were like, oh, this whole internet thing is a scam, and they're out to take your money. And I was just like, well, I've spent damn near $10,000 in less than 90 days with you guys, right? And I have a $450 check, right? Like something's wrong here, right? So when I heard that, it just drove me to even dive further into personal development and learning more about internet marketing and learning more about myself and what I needed to do and who I needed to become to get to where I wanted to go. And when I did that, that's when the shift happens. Now, hindsight, 5 years later, right? I reached out to them just to see how they were doing, and they ended up, first and foremost, just saying, James, you were right. James, you were right. James, you were right. And the feeling was like, wow. Like I never would have thought that I would have heard that, right? And not only that, but they ended up hiring me as a coach to help them in their business, give them some internet marketing tips and things of that nature, because they had seen my growth over the course of the past 5 years, and they were just like proud parents that saw me grow up and develop myself, and they would keep track of me on Facebook and see my kids and stuff on Facebook being born and everything like that. So they were in the background just looking and watching, but a part of them were kind of ashamed a little bit to really reach out to me because of the fact that they told me not to do what I went out and did anyway, right?
Right.
So, but all entrepreneurs have that rebellious streak, and it's all about really tapping into it. It's about tapping into your unconscious resources so that you can really go out and achieve your goals and achieve your results. Now, when when you were going through all this research, right, and you were in your research phase, what did you really discover that led you to start to believe in the fact that you could go out and build your business over the internet?
Um, I think the thing that stuck out the most to me, and it was really obvious anyway, was the sheer number of people that you have access to. There's no way I can walk outside, walk in the mall, walk in the store, walk anywhere really, and have access to the amount you have access to on the internet. And on top of that, you can target and find exactly who you're looking for. You don't have to sift as much on the internet as you do in person. Because on the internet, especially now, you know, people are putting so much out there about themselves that you can decide without even talking to them if they're the person, or if you're even interested in this person being involved in what you're being involved in. As opposed to on the street, you just talk to whoever and hope that will fit into what you're offering. So the internet being, so accessible for everyone means that as a marketer, as a business person, all of these individuals are accessible, and you can find the people who are looking for an answer, and you have to have the answer. And those are the people that you spend your time with. So you don't have to deal with as many tire kickers, with people that are curious and not serious. You can find those individuals that really are looking for what you have to offer and deal only with those people. So it's really just a huge time saver, and it just allows you to focus. To me, it allows you to focus more on, you know, developing and growing your business as opposed to just trying to find people to look at it and right.
Exactly, and I'm in total agreement with that, right? And what I want you to share is, just share more about your personal life, right? Because obviously, like you said, you don't really have a lot of time to work your business. It's something that we've talked about a lot, and a lot of people have this perception that even if you don't have a ton of time to work your business, that you can't go out and produce results, right? And through our private conversations, our one-on-one coaching sessions, our mastermind sessions, you really discovered that you don't need to be in front of your computer all day. With the power of websites like Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, like if you have a smartphone, which I would say the vast majority of people who are on the internet have, right? Just share what you discovered when it came to really maximizing your time over the internet through our private conversations and what you've learned through the training that you've gone through so far.
Well, number one, you don't have to be in front of your computer all day. There are ways to automate things. There are ways to get some of the work that you even be in there anyway. As far as my schedule, I probably have one of the busiest schedules out of like anybody, and like so if I can work this business, anybody can. I get up at, I don't even know, 5:30. I'm gone most of the day. A good day I might get home at like 6:37. Sometimes I get home at 9, and even if I get home at 9, I only need 2 hours, if that, to actually focus on working my business each day. So it's not as time consuming as people think, but it's all about perception, like you said. So it's the internet. That's the lovely part about it. You don't have to leave your house. Once you get your house, you can do the work from your couch, from your bed, from a chair, from the floor, wherever you are. You can do your work from there. And it's not complicated. It's simple, and it's not time consuming. Honestly, having the lifestyle that I have as a mom, a single mom, a coach, a teacher, and an entrepreneur, working a traditional MLM would be a totally different situation for me as opposed to an online MLM, because I would not be able to maximize my time in this way if I had to be at a meeting twice a week, or if I had to have home meetings, or it wouldn't work for me. meaning that would disqualify me from even being able to have a business. Whereas with online marketing, I can do my work at 1 and 2 in the morning if I have to, and or early in the morning, or like I said, when I get home, and that's it. So, people just need to be more open and not make assumptions, especially because this is not the same, honestly, as a traditional. There's just a lot of different elements to online marketing that to me make it superior, just because you are allowed to kind of build your own schedule, around your literally around your own lifestyle and still be able to work your business.
Yeah, I like that. I love the ability to uh, build your own schedule. That was awesome. You should definitely use that in some emails, right? Um, but when it comes to your motivation, right? And this is what I really want to tap into right now. I want you to really to share your why, share your why, and share your vision of what's the real driving force behind why you plugged into the Just Get Money team, and what has you still driving forward. What's your vision? What are you looking to do? What are you looking to do when it comes to helping and inspiring other people?
Well, my vision has changed and it's grown over time. And, at first it was just like, oh, I just want to make more money and, I have a son and that was it. But as time is going on, number one, I feel like I could really help open a lot of people's eyes, help them to see that, you don't have to accept the lifestyle that the world tells you you're supposed to have. You don't have to accept, waking up at the crack of dawn or the ass crack of dawn and going to a job you hate and looking forward to retiring for 40 years. That's ridiculous. You don't have to be that person. You don't have to do that. And I've seen that even in my own life. Like, it's like every day I'm getting more and more unemployable. And I'm just like, yeah, time's running out. This ship is sailing. But, you know, and outside of that, just helping people to see that their life doesn't have to be this prescribed life is freedom. Freedom for me to be able to, be there for my son. If he has a field trip, I don't want to have to tell him, oh, I can't go because I have to work. I want to be able to spend that time with him, to share those moments with him. I want to be able to travel the world. I want to be able to, because I love history. I'm a literature teacher, but I also love history. I want to be able to go visit places. I want to be able to go see, some of these monuments in other countries that I've read about. I don't want to just be looking in a magazine the rest of my life until I'm 70 because I retired finally and I can finally take a trip. Like, I want to be able to do it now while I'm still young and I can enjoy it. Like, and I can actually walk around without pain and like enjoy, so it's, for me, it's just freedom, and like I said, I don't like people like telling me what to do and somebody's always over I can't stand it. I can't stand it. So that being the case, I pretty much have to build something where I can control what's going on with me. If I feel sick, I don't want to have to answer to. That's one of the things about being a teacher. When you're sick, it affects not only just like your classroom, it's like other people like get involved. If you don't get a sub, now they're all mad. So you go back to work, you just came back from the flu, and like the whole building's mad because your sub didn't show up, and it's like, what? Like, come on. So that being the case, like, people don't know that. Y'all don't know that side of teaching. But, it's just being free. That's all I want. I want to be free. I want to be able to live how I want to live, be able to help the people I care about, be able to help people I haven't even met yet, be able to free them and their own families so that they also can live the way they want to live as opposed to living the way they think they're supposed to live. And there's a big difference between the two.
Absolutely. Awesome. Awesome. So, what is it that you feel caused you to really create this shift in your vision, right? Because what's funny is when we first get into a business, when we first get into this industry, or when we start a new business, it's typically because of the money, right? But the money doesn't keep you in the game. That's one thing that I've realized a lot. Even with the whole branding of the Just Get Money team, of course that gets people in the game, but that doesn't keep them there. So, what do you feel really started to create that shift in your belief level to where you started to change your vision more, being more outwardly focused towards going out and helping other people, while at the same time being able to live your own personal lifestyle of freedom.
I just think personal development and growth. Like when you first come into this business, most people you're not reading personal development books, you're not listening to audios every day. And honestly, my perception of the world and life has shifted as I've started to really dig deep and listen to, like, I listen to at least one audio a day. Sometimes I listen to like two or three. So that being the case, I just see the world differently. I see things, I notice things now that I would never have noticed before. And it just makes me be like, wow, there's a lot of people out here that just don't understand what their options are. And that development, I'm thankful for it. But sometimes it can be painful to look around and see that you're the only person that is like recognizing, some of the flaws, the embedded flaws in society, because for most people it's just how it is. And it's like they don't think of any alternative. There is no alternative for them. So when you see that, you want to share with people that there is an alternative. You just have to be open to it.
Yeah, and I'm in total agreement with that statement, right? And when you start to grow and you start to develop as an entrepreneur, you really start to work on personal development and you start to really look deep within and you start to transform, you realize how different you're becoming versus the people that you've associated yourself around. And I'm glad that you brought that up because what's super important in what we talk about and what we stress is getting out to live events, right? And I remember, we had talked several times about you getting out to live events, and then you finally made the decision, right, to get out to Charlotte, and that's where we personally connect, and you just had a tremendous breakthrough. So just share that story about, what what transpired and how that created that shift in your belief level because that was the beginning of everything for you.
Yeah.
And I was excited, like I was in anticipation. I'm like, Jay's coming, Jay's coming. Like I'm excited because I knew that by you making that intention and you making that decision that it was literally going to change your life. And for those of you that are watching this video, make a choice, make a decision, plug in, connect with Jay. However you got in front of this video, you definitely need to connect with Jay because she will help you. And we do have a live event that's coming up very, very shortly, and it's super powerful for you. But Jay, just share your story about that whole entire process of Charlotte and what it did for you.
Charlotte was just like a transformative experience from beginning to end. Just the fact that, it was like so crazy for me how I even got there. Like I, lost my bank card on the way, barely was able, like literally had to borrow my aunt's credit card for the weekend just so I could survive the weekend, you know. So that was a hint that it was going to be a powerful weekend. So when I, even when I got there, just seeing so many people from so many different walks of life there, so excited. Then to go inside the event and just hear, these people, everyone people that are so successful, just pouring their hearts out, sharing everything. And the more I listened, it was just like the more I could feel my mind just shifting and shifting and shifting. And the idea of taking action was just like getting embedded in me as I continued to, listen and pay attention. And then just hearing like other people and what they went through to get there, all of that I internalized it and it affected me tremendously. Like even the woman who was homeless and spent her last like $300 to get there. And then for, them to literally tell her, oh, well, you don't have to worry about getting home. We'll pay for it. I'm like, wow, like I had never seen that happen at an event ever. Usually they're like, oh, well, that's great. Congratulations. And they clap and they're like, next person. So it just really let me know that, this is a very special company. It's a very special group of people. And I just knew that I couldn't let this pass me by. I knew that I had to be open and I had to work on myself, and being there, that was, like you said, the beginning of my mind starting to really shift and my mind opening up so that I could work on myself daily, so that I could change some of my habits. Because it's hard to break habits. And sometimes your mind resists doing that. But me being at that event, it just was like, duh, like, what are you doing? You have to be willing to shift and change. Because if you're not, you're going to still be sitting in the same seat next year with the same results. So at that point, it was like a no-brainer for me to just really, really, really invest in this business and invest in myself and make sure that my time was going towards developing myself as opposed to like watching, random TV show. Not saying I don't ever watch TV, but I definitely don't watch even close to, TV as much as I used to. And even what I read changed. And I'm going to tell this story because I think some people need to hear this. People are going to think I'm crazy because I'm supposed to be an English teacher, but this is true. When I first got into this industry, they were like, oh, you need to listen to these audios and you need to read these books. And I would like try to read the book, and I literally could not read the book. Like, I'd be like, man, I can't read this. This is boring. It's terrible. Man, no, just give me my romance novel. I don't want to read this crap. So I would literally read one page, and I'd be like, okay, I read it. And then I would go read some trashy novel or whatever, So, but it's a testament to the shift because now that's all I read is personal development. And I literally sit there and I'm like, wow, this is great. So that's it's a mental shift and a mental change. So that can happen for anybody. And, it happens once you decide that it's time. Once you decide that it's time to push forward and work on yourself, then you'll start to see a shift and a change. And it won't be as hard to resist your old habits so that you can put in place your new habits.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, in our industry, like you had said, the mind it's a funny thing. As you're going through the process and the transition of really learning how it works, right? Because, like you said, like you're an English teacher, right? But it was hard for you to sit down and read personal development books that were literally geared towards changing the way that you think, right? And I went through this as well. There was a point where I was just watching a lot of TV, and I realized that I was wasting my freaking time, right? I'm gonna keep it G today, but I was just wasting my freaking time. And I sat there and asked myself, considering where I'm going and considering where I see myself at, right? In 3 months, in 6 months, in 12 months, why am I sitting here spending 2 to 3 hours of my personal time watching someone else go out and get rich, right? Because that's essentially what you're doing when you're watching TV. Yes, it is okay to take a break and to break state and just get all your thoughts out and just be entertained. I'm not telling you not to go out and entertain yourself, but if you really want to create a shift, you have to change your habits. And it may seem like it's a pain in the ass at first, and it may seem like it's hard. And the reality of the situation, it's actually pretty easy, because once you make a choice, once you make the decision, the action itself isn't the hard part. It's all what's going on in between your ears, right, and inside of your mind that's going to cause something to either be difficult or easy, right? Like, I remember it would be hard for me to stay up. Like, I'd make an excuse about, I just need to shut down the computer, watch TV, and fall asleep. Now, I literally hate sleep. And I would have never thought that I would have got myself to this point, because I remember back in 2010 when I hired one of my millionaire mentors, and he was 53 at the time, right? And I was like 20, 21 or something like that. And I remember him saying, James, I only get about 3 hours of sleep a night. I was like, and you can operate off of that? And he was like, what do you think? And I was like, it just totally shifted the way that I thought. So if I'm sleeping for 6 hours in a night, I know that there's a guy who's damn near 60 who only sleeps 3 hours a night and then gets up and either walks or runs 3 miles a day. No excuses. And then gets on a phone and talks to people for 10 hours a day. Now, me personally, I don't use the phone that often unless I'm talking to producers, right? But But there's a whole entire shift in the way that you think when it comes to attracting the results that you want for yourself. And you can literally do an exercise that I've walked Jay through, and I've done myself, of really just sitting there and envisioning where you want to go. What type of lifestyle do you want? Where do you want to live? What car do you want to drive? How much do you want to have in the bank account? On any given day. Start to visualize these things, because until you start to visualize these things, it will never manifest into your physical reality. And that's what's super important. Just closing your eyes and imagining a different life, that is the start to everything, because you're not going to take action. You're not going to plug in and get started, right, unless you feel that it's possible. And anything is possible. Just like where you're currently at right now, there's another reality where you can be in a totally different space, living your dreams that you've always wanted to live. It's just that you're holding yourself back right now. And you got to make a decision to really step outside of your comfort zone. You got to make a decision to really step into your power. You got to make a decision to lock arms and join forces with us, and really learn what it is that we're going through, because all we're doing is we're doing what we've been told to do by people who are more successful than us, right, who share with us their concepts, the way that they think. There's something that I learned earlier this year that I heard from one of my mentors by the name of David Sharp, and he said, if you're the smartest person in the room, you need to get around new people. And I was stuck for years because I was the smartest person in the room. And I was always sitting there, and I had a huge ego, and I sat there and I said to myself, you know what? I'm not where I want to be at. I think I'm always right, and I know I'm not always right, but I think I'm always right. And I need to get around people who are in the position that I want to be in, because I knew I would humble myself up and ask them specific questions, and then whatever they told me to do, I would go out and do it. I would start to hold myself accountable. You really just got to sit there and make a decision that now is the time to lock arms and join forces. And Jay, I want to bring it back over to you, because you made that decision, and I just want you to share why you made that decision, right? Because it was super important for you to make that decision for yourself. And someone that's watching this may be in a place where they're kind of fighting with themselves. Their egos kind of maybe checking them a little bit, saying, no, don't do this, don't take action, don't pull out your credit card and buy, right? When they know in their heart, in their mind, in every fiber of their being that they want to take action. Just share with them why they should.
Well, I mean, I'm just going to put it really simply for people. If you don't take action, then wherever you're sitting at right now, whatever you're doing right now, whatever your life is like right now, that's how it's going to be next year, and the year after that, and the year after that, and the year after that. So if you love your life, if you don't have an issue with your life, if you don't want any changes, if you don't want any improvements, then don't take action. Now, if you know that you need something else, something more, if you've seen something in what I'm doing, or anybody in this industry is doing, then you must take action to be able to capitalize on it. You're not going to walk in and make $1 million, but you are going to be able to walk in and start immediately working on changing and shifting yourself. And that's powerful. So take action if you want a change. If you truly are serious about a change, about development. If you're truly serious, then you have to take action. If you're truly serious, come on.
Can I have a brownie?
Sure. All right. If you're truly serious, sorry guys. Okay, go ahead. Bye.
We work at home. It's all right.
If you want to take action, if you want that change and that transformation, you want to be able to experience the kind of shift that I was talking about, where you just, it's noticeable, the thing up here is not the same, and it's in a good way. You have to get around people that can show you how to do it, and you're not going to be able to do that if you don't take action. If you're surrounded, go ahead, sheesh. If you're surrounded by people, you can't continue to surround yourself with the same people that are on your level or below and improve. It just doesn't happen. You have to surround yourself with people that have more than you, that are smarter than you, that are willing to show you But at the same time, take action, you're never going to be in that position.
And for those of you guys that are watching this, right? You know, Jay's son just came out of nowhere. Now, think about that for a second. If you were at your job and somehow, some way, your son or your daughter just came in randomly and just was like asking you for a brownie, how would you feel in that environment, right? Everyone would be looking at you. People would be like, "Oh, you need to get fired," right? But no, we're at home. Like, you know, I remember I was doing a hangout a couple months ago with some of the team members, and at the time he was 3, now he's 4. My son Malachi just decided to jump into the fray and, you know, get on camera, and it was cool because, you know, the whole control freak in me was like, no, you need to get off my hangout. But then I embraced the fact that he wanted to see what was going on. He wanted to see what was going on with the energy and the people and what I was up to, and that's what we have the ability to do. We have the ability to be who we are, do what we want when we want to, because we're making different decisions. And when you start to make the choices in life to do whatever it takes to go out and get to where you want to go, there's a shift, right? Like there was a shift in energy inside of Jay that caused her son to even come in and notice because he wanted to know what was going on. And you want to be a part of that energy. That's the reason why you're watching this hangout. And it's up to you to just make the decision to take action. Make the decision to pull out your credit card and buy. Connect with Jay, connect with whoever got you in front of this video, whether it's one of our team members, and just make the decision to take massive action in your life and in your business. And Jay's going to help you. Jay's going to help you go out and get the results that you seek. And we're all going to help you because here at Just Get Money Team, we're a team and we're worldwide. So, you know, we're here to help you, whether it's, you know, generating leads for your current business, right? Producing more sales in your current business, right? Or if you don't have a vehicle right now to go out and get the results that you want for yourself, then you already know what to do. Make the decision, pull out your credit card and buy. Let's lock arms, let's join forces. That's it, period, my friend. And, you know, with that being said, Jay, is there anything else you want to add to
that? You know, just you got to take action. You got to make a decision, and you have to overcome the fears, you know, because when you first get in front of this kind of opportunity, when you first get in front of, you know, a group of people that you know can help you, but it's going to cost you a little bit of money, you know, people start having doubt, they start having fear, and you have to get over that because fear is going to be, it can be the ultimate killer to your future. So you have to put your fears aside and push through, and when you do that, it'll become a little bit easier every time, and you'll start to see your life shift as it becomes easier, all right? So don't give in to the fear.
Absolutely, absolutely. So guys, listen, take massive action, make a decision to get in, pull out your credit card and buy, join the Just Get Money team, plug into Empower Network, and see how we can help you go out and live your dreams, my friend. We love you and appreciate you, and God bless you. Watch us like you watch TV and watch your income grow massively, my friend. Take massive action, get started. We'll see you on the next train.